Alright, so we're back. This is going to be a video about factoring, only this time I'm actually going to work out some examples, so problems that you might see later on. Okay, so if you remember from the last video, factoring is basically just the opposite of distributing. Factors are numbers multiplied together. One is the universal factor. We have prime and composite numbers. Prime is only has a factor of 1 in itself, where composite has more than 2 factors. So it's 1 in itself, plus you can use other numbers as well to make composite numbers. So the first one we're going to do is a prime factorization problem, and a problem might look something like this. What is the prime factorization of some number, let's just say 24? Okay, so what you're going to want to do is break this up into the factors that make up 24, and you're going to want to focus on prime factors. So you can start anywhere. I'm just going to start for 24, I'm going to start at 2 and 12, because 2 times 12 is 24. Now 2 is prime, so you don't need to do anything with that, but we need to break down this 12 here to its prime factors. So I'm going to drop down the 2 because we still need that, but we need to break down this 12. Okay, well, you can do 3 times 4, you can do 2 times 6. It doesn't actually matter, you always end up with the same answer. We're just going to start with 2 times 6 for the 12. Alright, so 2 times 12 is equal to 2 times 2 times 6. Okay, 2 and 2 are prime, so we're good here, but 6 is still not prime. You're going to want to break that down, so I'm going to have 2 times 2 times, well, 6, and you end up with 2 times 3, and then you notice every single one of these numbers is prime. So this would be the prime factorization of 24. There are other problems that you'll see that actually involve variables included into the number, so it could be 24x or 24x squared, and you have to factor that as well. This is just going to be a brief example just to kind of give you an understanding of what prime factorization means. Okay, next we have greatest common factor. You might have a question that says, what is the greatest common factor of 24x and 12x squared? So I'm just making up 2 numbers here. And you want to find the greatest common factor between the 2. Okay, well what you can do is you can do a prime factorization of each of these. So in this one we would just have 2 times 2 times 2 times 3, because we already did the 24, times this x as well. Okay, and then that would just be the factor for 24 broken down. And then you'd want to do the same thing for this 12x squared. So you would have 2 times 6 times x times x. Okay, you can break down this 6 to 2 and a 3 times x. And then you'll notice that you have prime factors here and then 2 x's. Now what you want to do is you want to try to find the common link between these factors here. So we have 1, 2 here, 1, 2 here, a 2 here, a 2 here, a 3, 1x, and 1x. So the ones that are circled are the factors that are common. So what you can do to find the greatest common factor, since it says greatest, you have to combine all the factors into one big factor. So you would have 2 times 2 times 3 times x. So you would get 4 times 3, which is 12x for this one. And you would get the same thing here, because it would be 2 times 2 is 4 times 3 times x. You'd get 12x here as well. So the greatest common factor between these two would be 12x. Okay, so if you have any questions about prime factorization or finding the greatest common factor, let me know.